What's up, Dracula?
Yeah. What's up, Scream Queen?
We get to go to an advanced screening of Renfield this Wednesday.
I know you're very excited.
I'm so excited. And they're letting us bring 8 VIPs, so we're bringing 8 Patreons. And the screening is so early, it doesn't come out till April 14th, and we're going on the 5th. That's early.
Everybody is very excited.
Well, we are, you're not.
I really don't care. I mean, it'll be interesting.
I am very excited about Nicolas Cage as the Dracula, and you said it. You can't judge a whole movie by the trailer.
No, absolutely. You can't judge a whole movie by the trailer. I don't want I like horror comedies, but I want Dracula to be Dracula.
You think he's going to be just like Nicolas Cage?
It is. It's going to be Nicolas Cage is just always Nicolas Cage and everything
I know,
he does.
I
He
love
even
it.
made a movie about him being Nicolas Cage.
I know, I'm ready to be dazzled.
So that's fine, I guess.
Well, when Christopher Lee was Dracula, he was just being Christopher Lee.
Yeah, but Christopher Lee is like a fucking ancient mystical knight who like studies the occult and witchcraft and was a spy during the war and was this like 7-foot tall, beautiful British man. It's like he's got a whole lot of weird history, and he wasn't like screaming, "Wow, look at that!" and like smacking himself in the head.
Okay, almost every point that you just made about Christopher Lee can be said about Nick Cage, first of all.
He is not a Knight Templar. He is not a study of mysticism in the
Yes,
occult.
he is.
What, because he bought a woolly mammoth skull and built a pyramid in New Orleans?
Yes.
No, that's some fucking for show shit, because I'm going to be weird.
Don't you talk shit about that guy on here.
I am talking shit about Nicholas. He can come for me.
I hope he does. I'm going to be on his side.
I want if Nicolas Cage would have stayed the way that he was in Valley Girl, I'd be okay.
I love him. He can do whatever he wants.
When he was Nicholas Coppola.
Yep. We dropped our first mailbag episode. Okay, we've been through this already. We're having listener voicemail episodes. We're calling it EVPs.
It took 2 of us to come up with this because you weren't sold on voice pals.
Right.
I wasn't sold on voice mailians.
Correct.
You suggested EVP, probably just thinking electronic voice phenomena.
Yeah, obviously.
And I realized that it could be electronic voice pals.
So we both got our way.
And all was right with the world. Shut it down.
Shut it down. I know. They came out good. So we already have so many new ones too to record. I think there's a famous person on the next, going to be a famous person on the next one.
Uh-oh.
But who knows when we'll get it out to the public. These are not going to be weekly. They're going to be whenever the F we feel like it. So
I feel like there'll probably be one a month.
yeah, that's fine. That'll make people do real good ones. That'll like up the average of ones that I have to delete.
Up everybody's game.
Exactly.
So people don't just call in and go, had a bologna sandwich today.
Okay, literally. I can't. I mean, that's nice for you. That's great. I feel nice about your life details, but not everybody needs to hear it. That's for sure.
You know, I had to, for, I don't even know, 15 years, 20 years, I used to pass out business cards at conventions and events, and it had a voicemail number on it, and I had to get rid of that voicemail. I don't even know. I want to hear people's stories, but voicemails are like 3 minutes long. And so someone would tell a story and they would call that voicemail like 20 times so that they could tell me like an hour-long story. And so I just had to get rid of it.
No, they can't be that long, guys. I would say max 3 calls. Your story better fit in it. But ideally, 1 call.
Yeah, and we don't need any more Titanic calls.
I mean, well, is that Michael Jackson? Somebody just drove by with their music so loud. But yeah, try to keep it short and snappy. 2 calls is fine if you have to call back and finish. But bro, talk fast. Tell a good story. You can swear. You can be crazy. Oh, the number is 313-444-5170.
You got to start saying that slower.
313-444-5170.
You still say it fast. You just say it louder.
Bro, it's under the podcast, in the podcast.
I know, but I'm saying like, you have to remember people are listening and they're not like.
Okay, they have a pad and paper out. I don't know what to do for people.
I'm going to make up a jingle for it.
Do it.
I'm going to.
It's in the podcast notes and it's on the Instagram. Just look for the number. My other big news this week was that I stopped taking my antidepressants.
I don't know if that's a celebratory.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna get personal for a minute.
Because you've been in skunk mode.
Well, listen, truth. I've been hideous to be around. So you're only supposed to be on antidepressants for like not that long. They're supposed to get you through what you need them to get you through and then not be on them anymore, which is usually somewhere in the range of like a year. I've been on them 3 years. The circumstances that I got on them for have changed. Those being, I got on them about 5 or 6 months before Beaton passed because I knew that it was coming. I could like feel it in my bones. So I was like, I need to look out for myself or I'm not going to make it through this, which was true. Barely did. You all know that from listening to this. So yeah, got through that, got Toady Pants. He obviously helps a lot. And then the other thing that I got him for was because I over worry. And one of the worst things that I worried about was, I think I've talked about it on here, but when my house got broken into, that was a few years before that. And in the interim, in this last 3 years that I was on antidepressants, the person who broke into my house fucking died. Spoiler alert. It was an overdose. They broke into my house because they were an ex-heroin addict, and they broke into my house and took all my shit and traumatized my dog and traumatized me. And I had a lot of trouble sleeping at night because I always thought they were coming back. So I wouldn't sleep until the sun came up, which is a problem. So anyway, so once I got on the antidepressants, I stopped worrying so much and I could actually fucking sleep.
Side note to what you were saying. Also very strange when I realized the person who had broken into your house was someone I knew when they were 14 years old.
Literally. Yeah. It was an ex-coworker of mine. They went off the rails and robbed a bunch of people that we work with. But yeah, so since I've gotten on the antidepressants, I got through being all that shit. The robber is no more. And I feel like I'm in a decent place right now to like be able to do it. Should I ever have to go on them again? There's nothing wrong with that. Like I was on them for a time when I was younger. I don't have a problem with needing them now, and I'm not going to have a problem if I need them again in like 10 years. But as of right now, I feel like I'm pretty okay to get off of them. So we're going to see how that goes. But yes, I dropped to half dosage and have been ripping your head off. And now I'm on 0 dosage, but I feel fine. Nothing crazy has happened so far. It can definitely like alter a bunch of shit about you if you're on them too long. And
I mean, it also super helps to have a friend like me.
Obviously. But I've
because whether you're depressed or not, I'm still going to say that you look like a worm.
I know.
Just keeping it real.
I know. Well, I put it on Twitter and I put it in my Instagram story, and I've already gotten like so many nice messages from people being like, that's going to give other people the strength to be able to do it. And like, it's nice that you're so open about it and not making it like a stigmatized thing. Like, so yeah, if you need them, you need them. If you're good for a bit, then good. And I have been taking CBD once or twice a day too. I feel like that's been giving me enough like mood stabilization to like be able to make the transition too. So I think that's important. So yeah. And Mia from Two Spooky Hoes has like 2 mental health degrees and is like super knowledgeable in psilocybin and all this shit, and she's like super into helping me and has given me some really good advice too. So
good people.
I know, good people everywhere, for real. So supportive.
There are good people everywhere, for real. Unfortunately, there's a lot of garbage people.
I know. We just got to be louder somehow, because they've really gotten used to being the loudest, and
they really have gotten used to being the loudest.
I know. We need to start scaring motherfuckers. I'm sick of it.
You know, I have told people I am getting older, and so I'm more slow to act, more slow to react. But I warn people, like, you don't want me to unload full fury on you.
And 100% same with me.
Like, it's going to go all kinds of wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm strong, mm-hmm. but I'm smart and I'm clever. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's way more dangerous.
And smart people are like vindictive as fuck too, and like crafty. Like I'm not gonna punch you, but I might find 8 different ways to ruin your life, and I'll start tomorrow. Literally.
I remember, this is probably decades ago at Gus's. Dave, the owner of Dave's Comics, was there, and we were sitting at the bar, and there was a drunk guy next to him kind of being belligerent, and he said something really nasty to Dave, and Dave said, listen, I'm not going to fight you, like matched his energy, and was like, I'm not going to fight you. And the guy's like, well, what are you going to do then? And Dave got real calm. He brought it back down and got super intense. And he goes, we're going to sit here and drink, and we're going to become friends. I'm going to give you my phone number. You're going to call me. We're going to be really good friends. And then 3 years from now, I'm going to break your fucking heart.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I had no idea where that story was going.
That's great, though.
Loved it.
I think I might have told you the story where I kind of did that to a woman once.
Why?
I was a teenager and she hated me. And so like I paid my friend Jeff, because Jeff would drive us back and forth to school, like a whole group of kids. And so I paid Jeff to drop her and I off last so that we had to be in the car alone together. And over like a period of months, we became friends. Then we started dating. And then I invited her over my parents' house at the time. I was a teenager. We were sitting on the couch and she went in to kiss me. And I said, oh, by the way, you remember how like 4 months ago you fucking hated me. I really don't like you and want to date you, and I think you should go now.
Dang.
It was fucking evil.
Well, how fucking old were you?
16.
What was wrong? How old was this lady?
16.
Oh, why'd you call her a lady? I'm picturing like a mom that drove you all to school and you. I'm like, there's a lot going on in this story.
No.
Gross.
Jeff was our older friend that would drive us back and forth to school, the teenage kids.
Got it. Yeah, it's yeah.
I still think about it, how shitty I was. I mean, when I talk about like my experience that I had and like becoming a better person and it being transformational, like that was the type of vindictive, horrible shit I was pulling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I have a bad experience and now here I am, kind and loving and wonderful.
Yeah, it's a path of growth. We've both grown a lot in our lives.
You've grown just in the past few years that I've known you.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, you've gotten way worse.
I knew I'm like, this isn't gonna end good. Waiting for the punchline.
There it was. Whammo.
Oh, right in the gut.
Jessica, this whole podcast and our friendship has been a lie.
Come on. That's how you're gonna tell me?
Yes.
Jeez.
This is the final episode.
Christ. It just goes boop, boop, boop right now.
And
I'm
then
just, like, crying.
And then like any photos I have of you that you never wanted me to show anyone, just I have a whole new Twitter feed.
Oh. I feel like I have more shit on you than you do on me.
Like photo wise?
Photo, video, just like general information, doxing type things.
Oh, I mean, you might have a lot on me, but I have quality on you.
I would never cross you, Tenny.
Oh, you say that now.
You don't want to.
Like
Yes,
so many people in my past have said.
I say that now because all the antidepressants aren't out of my system yet. My horns are still growing. Oh, speaking of horns, there's this new insane horror movie that comes out tomorrow. Well, I don't know when the fuck this is gonna drop. Comes out today, comes out whenever the fuck. The movie comes out 3/31, March 31st. The movie is called Malum, M-A-L-U-M. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
And you liked it.
Yeah, it's for me.
Ah, we got one. We got one. Let me read the regular synopsis that it says on IMDb. It says a rookie police officer willingly takes the last shift at a newly decommissioned police station in an attempt to uncover the mysterious connection between her father's death and a vicious cult.
Pretty succinct. It's a good one.
It has a perfect running time of 1 hour and 32 minutes.
I wanted it to be 10 minutes shorter.
Honestly, it could have been.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm glad it wasn't longer.
Yeah. No, I'm glad it wasn't longer, but it could have been a little shorter.
Yeah, there was a tiny bit of walking around doing nothing that could have been cut out. I agree. But they built tension really well. There was like several times where I jumped really hard.
Very effective jump scare movie.
Very effective. Not the usual ones where somebody's behind the fridge door. Like these were real good.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe they work because there's no tension building music.
There was some. There's like weird.
But I mean, like some of the jump scares, literally, you don't have any clue that they're going to happen.
No, true. Now I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. And it's in such a quiet environment that when they happen, the loudness of it is like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't ready.
I watched it alone in the dark at 4:30 in the morning.
Same. I started it at like 2 in the morning. And I jumped a couple good times and scared the shit out of the dog. Firstly, the practical effects in the movie are insane. It was, if y'all saw the new Hellraiser, it was the same effects team that did the new Hellraiser, and they're really talented. This is one of those movies that's like not gory, like Hostel, like it's going to traumatize you. It's gory, like Evil Dead. It's gross, but it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, the gore factor in it is outrageously, it's so outrageous that you don't mind it.
I know. I was like laughing / smiling so big at a lot of it gets progressively more fucking ridiculous. So as it just descended into madness, I was just like very happy.
Yeah, well, it's funny because no spoilers, but you said like there was a point where you were like, you didn't know what was real and what wasn't real.
Yes.
And I said, that's kind of, I think, why it was so great, because the main character starts to not know what's real and what's fake.
Yeah.
And so you're in the position of the main character.
Yeah, totes. Yeah, it got me like several times where I was like, I barely know what's going on anymore, but I love it.
So much could have been ruined by CGI.
Oh my God, I know. It would have been a mess.
and they went practical, and worked perfectly.
So good. Two, there's like a cult in the movie. So if you like true crime and culty stuff, definitely watch it, like Manson family type shit. But what I thought was interesting was I read an interview with the director and he said something to the effect of, I didn't want them to be a satanic cult. They're not technically a satanic cult. They worship their own fucking thing and their own lore.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
No, but I think that that's great. I read that interview too. That was the Bloody Disgusting interview.
Nope.
No, I thought that was great because I don't think people realize, like, the majority of cults, especially like quote unquote evil ones or bad ones, are just following one crazy person's ideas.
Literally, yeah. It's not Satan. It's just whatever the fuck this guy's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It very much had that vibe.
Yeah. Like Jonestown wasn't a satanic cult.
Literally.
Koresh wasn't a satanic cult.
Nope.
Heaven's Gate wasn't a satanic cult. They were just following one person who had fucked up ideas.
Exactly.
Strangely enough, 2 of those 3 were Christian cults.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm super surprised you don't see more that people still go on to the trope of like a satanic cult when literally most cults are based on the Bible.
Well, the one I know I talk about M. Night Shyamalan's Servant a lot that was on Apple TV Plus. The cult in that is religious.
Right.
Yeah. So that
But I
was
mean, like, there's one of the Paranormal Activity movies takes place in like an Amish town.
Oh, yeah.
And it ends up like them worshiping old pagan gods. Instead of the Amish are more Christian oriented, just do that normal spin on it. Makes it scarier and realer.
Truth. Yeah. The other thing that was neat, like for us and for people that we know, was it's set in a decommissioned police station. They actually filmed it at it was a Metro Police Department headquarters building in Louisville, Kentucky. But I thought it was interesting and felt like almost paranormal because like all the places we investigate look just like that.
Oh, there was a lot of times where I was like, oh, what building is this? Have I investigated this? Because it looks like so many places that I've investigated.
Yeah, totes. Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of ghosty people and crime people and horror people will like love this movie.
I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, and then like I like posted all around about it for people to watch it and tagged some of the people in it. And the girl, you know, the blonde girl in the movie who plays, I think, a hooker. I think she's supposed to be a hooker, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she gave the craziest performance. Like her face, her crying, she like blew me away, right? So I tagged her in my tweet and blah blah blah. So her and one of the other producer guys ended up following me on Instagram, and she DM'd me because of stuff in my bio, and she said that her and the writer director of this movie are like love UFC, so they're like my new fight friends.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I'm so excited. No, but I told her, I'm like, I feel so bad when horror people follow me on Twitter because I'm like, well, have fun reading all my fight tweets. So at least they won't mind. But yeah, the writer director, he had a horror movie in 2014 called Last Shift.
Which was this?
Yeah, so he's essentially making it again, but he said he was broadening the idea more and with more of a budget and more gore.
Yeah. And I feel like it's probably left open the way it is to create a universe.
Yeah. I really like hands down right now, it's my favorite horror movie of the year. It's the one to beat. So, and I feel like that's a big claim. So,
all right. Well, we're seeing Renfield next week. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if horror comedies, it's tough because people put Deadstream in their best of the year last year, and that was a horror comedy. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. And then you got a new Evil Dead movie coming.
I know, which we're both just.
It just looks terrible.
It looks terrible. I don't know.
It really does.
I'm hearing good things. I don't want to be like, have a bad attitude about it, but bro, that main creature girl person and the trailer just they look like not good.
All right, what are you looking at? Rotten Tomatoes scores? Has anyone ever rated Rotten Tomatoes? Because that shit is wrong a lot of the time.
It is sometimes, but it's more believable than IMDb. IMDb is a mess.
It is trash.
I like too that on Rotten Tomatoes there's a difference between the actual critics and the regular people critics.
No, it's one of those things like season 3 of Picard, Star Trek has started. But season 2 was a disaster. It was like a horrible train wreck. And if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, it has like 91% critics. And then you go to like the watchers, like actual viewers, and it's 27%. And you're like, yeah, someone's being paid to say something nice about this.
Yeah, and it's usually backwards too. It's usually like the critics will give it the shittiest reviews, and then regular people will be like, I don't know, I feel like I liked it.
Well, I don't even know who these reviewers are anymore.
I don't either. I just like the horror people that I follow, but they understand horror. It's not like a regular person who watches fucking big movies and then rates a horror movie. Like that don't make sense.
Right.
But anyway, let's get into our weekends. that we had.
Start us off.
Oh God, there's a lot. Me and Katie Webb went to Cincinnati for the weekend for the Horror Hound Cincinnati convention, and it was great. So it was crazy because on the whole ride down there, it was raining cats and dogs. I was literally hydroplaning across the highway. It was really scary. And then right before we got to our hotel, there was a coyote that like came. We were on the tiniest back road, and this coyote like ran down the road and ran in front of our car. So that was weird. I'm like, that was kind of a animal totem for this trip.
Like a werewolf chasing you.
Yeah, it was so weird. He was cute and little, and like I feel like animals don't usually come out in the water. And we were in like an area with like hotels and gas stations. So I'm like, why is that little guy here? But
He probably didn't feel good.
mm,
By the way, before you go any further, do you know who's back on the horror convention circuit?
ooh,
David Naughton.
he is.
He is. He's like, I've seen 3 appearances. He's starting to show up at cons this year.
Oh my God, I gotta meet him.
I know.
Tell everybody who he is.
David Naughton is the lead actor from An American Werewolf in London, the original American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And he also sings the song Making It. If you haven't heard David Naughton's disco classic Making It, please go to YouTube and look up Making It by David Naughton.
I'm so excited. Okay, so what else did we do? We got to the horror con, all the costumes were sick. We met Art the Clown and Damian Leone from Terrifier 2. We got pictures. We held up Toad in the picture. They were very stoked about Toad. Me and Devin Sawa have a mutual friend, so I like texted my friend and was like, tell Devin Sawa we're coming up to his table, introduce us, blah blah blah. So we got to talk to him for a minute and got a picture. That was sick. We got to meet Doug Bradley, who is Hellraiser / Pinhead, the original Pinhead, and he was so nice. And I told you this on the phone when I was still there, but Doug Bradley was like the only one there and the only one I've ever seen at any of these cons that I went to so far who doesn't charge for a selfie.
There you go.
That's so nice.
He's pulling a tenny.
I know. He
I
had like
wonder-
photos to buy, but
I wonder if horror movie people yell at him for doing free selfies.
they probably do.
The way people yell at me for doing free autographs.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's Doug Bradley. It's Pinhead. He'll tear your soul apart.
you will. And then we met Dee Wallace from The Howling, who's like
And E.T.
an ET icon. She came out from her table and pet Toad.
You know what I forgot to give you?
What?
I forgot to give you my E.T. Avon soap so that you could get them all to sign it.
I mean, I would have.
I know.
I didn't see Henry Thomas guy. He wasn't at his table like ever.
Well, neither am I, so that's okay.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get to see him. We saw Bruce Campbell for like a minute. It was towards the end of the day. His people were like cleaning up his shit, but we got to say hi. He had a pink crushed velvet suit on and he looked like a boss. There was a part, look, me and Katie had to battle a fucking Karen and a half at the HorrorCon, and it was brutal. I had Toad with me, who has a service desk because I have fucking service vest because I have anxiety problems and other things, PTSD, etc. So yeah, I take Toad with me, whatever. So I was walking him around. Nobody had a fucking issue with it. I didn't even have his vest on. I was holding it. Like nobody gave a shit. I walked past every staff member of the convention. Nobody cared. So then me and Katie go into this one room. There's a lady in there with a giant fucking service dog. I don't even know what it was, but it was huge. It was like a fucking deer. It was big. And she just instantly starts yelling about Toad. She's like, he shouldn't be in here. What you're doing is illegal. Get him out. I'm telling you, screaming at the top of her lungs. And I look at her, I'm like, lady, I'm like, what? So we like get away from her, right? So that was the first incident. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this lady. Like, why? He didn't even come near, he wasn't even near her dog. So then we get into the big room where like Devin Sawa and Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard were. It's already a cluster. Everything there was a cluster. It was completely sold out. So anxiety was already high. We get in this second room in the middle of the entire fucking room where everybody's in line and everybody can see. She just starts absolutely screaming, you shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here. What you're doing is illegal. Get him away from my dog. Get him away from my dog. Yelling. So we see her instantly go up to a cop. And I'm like, are you fucking joking right now? Like, I'm not scared. I'm just pissed. So Katie looks at me and she's like, why don't we just get in line for Doug Bradley right now? Because they had barriers with like fabric. So once you were in the line, you couldn't see the fucking dog, right? So we're like kind of hiding in the line. And this cop, finally, she's done talking to him. This cop walks over and he goes, I'm just going to pretend I'm talking to you right now. I'm like, okay. He's like, she's a lot. I'm like, yeah, she's a fucking lot. This is the second time she screamed at us and we're not even doing anything wrong. So he stands there with us for a minute, walks away. She goes up to him again, Well, she probably sat there and yelled in his face for about 10 to 15 minutes. So then we get done with Doug Bradley, walk over to Devon Sawa. The cop is over there again. And we just saw him just get yelled at for 10 minutes. So he walks over to us. I go, how's that for you? And he's like, I would rather jump off a building than talk to her again. Luckily, after that, we didn't see her again, but it was like insane. It was my very first, like, very loud, awkward incident with a true Karen. And then after that, we got in line to meet the Terrifier people again. And all these people were like, I'm so fucking sorry. We saw her yelling at you. Like, so many people ended up apologizing to me. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it was fine. It was just weird because we weren't doing anything and she just fucking lost her mind. So when I called you and told you about it, you're like, you're lucky I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Would have raged on a Karen.
I would have.
I would have been stoked to see that.
I know you would have.
So yeah, so then after that,
here's the thing. It's not that I would have raged on her. Again, as we talked about earlier, I'm smart and I'm clever. Something in my brain would have clicked and I would have gone into some fucking rap that would have made her feel so fucking bad. And just eaten away at her soul. She would be crying and begging forgiveness.
Good. It was psychotic. It seriously made me feel bad for anybody who's ever been Karen because it comes out of nowhere and just instantly everyone around is looking at you and there's nothing you can do about it. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But like I said, you know how I think on my feet, like being near Dahmer's apartment place. You've seen that in action.
Yes. Yeah, I tend to freeze in the moment and then
I just assume an authority that I shouldn't, and it works.
I love it. He needed it for sure. Because the cop was kind of young too. He did not give a fuck. And then, so then from that room, we had to go back upstairs. So we get in this elevator and it's literally there was two people ahead of us. They walk into the elevator. It's a full scale, full outfit Michael Myers and a full outfit Babyface Killer from Happy Death Day. And they stood against one side of the elevator and then there's just me and Katie and Toad. And I go, can we all take a selfie? And they're like, sure. And then we take a selfie and the Michael Myers had a giant knife. So we took the most ridiculous selfies and then we're like, okay, thanks. And we're still in the elevator and we like separate and they go, can you imagine how creepy it would be if you asked us that and we just didn't talk? I was like, yes, thank you for saying something. I would have peed my pants.
Yes, because it can get creepy. I think I told you one time about the guy who was just dressed up as the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Yes, and you said he was like hiding behind poles.
He would just stand against a pole for like an hour and a half and not move and not say anything. Like there was a problem.
No, everybody there was really nice, had really good costume. There was somebody in a full ass like Cinnabite costume with like wires in their mouth and doing the teeth thing. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that?
Is that like Cinnabon?
Cinnabite. Cinnabuns. Cinnamon.
Someone at a horror con just dressed up like a cinnamon roll.
A Cinnabite. You know, if they had a Cinnabite and it was a cinnamon roll, but it had the mouth.
Dad, I'm telling you right now, if anybody's listening who does cosplay, Cinnabites. Cinnabite. Instead of leather and chains, it's frosting.
Yes.
We'll tear your roll apart.
Yeah, like baked goods. What do you want me to talk about my second day of the trip or do you want to talk about your thing first?
No, get yours over with.
Okay. So that was the first day of our trip. The second day on Sunday, we went to the zoo again in Cincinnati because I had to. And we saw Fritz, baby Fritz, Fiona, Tucker, BB. We got to see the hippos. We got to watch them eat. We got to feed the giraffes. We got to feed, there's this thing called a kudu. It's like a weird, it looks like a deer, but it's got twisty horns and ostriches. We got to go in with them. And there was a guy from Game of Thrones touring the zoo at the same time we were there too.
Oh.
I'm not going to say who it was because I feel like it's a secret information, but.
I wonder if they were were they in town for the horror con?
They weren't. I don't know why they were there, but, or maybe they were not on the roster, but maybe they're dating somebody. I don't fucking know.
Oh, you never know.
But yeah. But I thought it was interesting because they were like, oh, this person's going to be at the hippos at a certain time, so we can go at this time. I'm like, oh, this is like I'm VIP, like a Game of Thrones guy. Oh, listen. So yeah, we saw the hippos. I got to see Rico, the porcupine, and I got another Fritz shirt. So now I have 3.
Yeah, understandable.
But the one I got is so good. So yeah, now I have 3 hippos shirts, a mug, a Christmas ornament. I feel like I have other things. I can't remember what else I got. And then me and Katie went and...
Did Fritz ask about me?
I mean, I think he did. I felt it. He got a lot bigger.
I'm sure.
He did. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, hippos can like spray shit apparently. And there was a time recently where they sprayed and it went over the barrier and shit all of the crowd. And then while we were there, Fiona did it and it went on the window. And I swear, oh, people almost got a shit shower while we were there. It was wild. I didn't know that could happen. But then on the way home, we went in search of the Loveland Frogman, which is around Cincinnati. And we found out that in Loveland, barely anybody gives a shit about the Loveland Frogman. We found one cute coffee shop called Mile 42. Shout out Mile 42. They had the Frogman on a little graphic on their walk up window, and they had Frogman pins. And yeah, that's about it. And then we went to the area where the Crosswick Monster was spotted, which is another cryptid from 1882. It apparently looks like a lizard snake thing. It's 30 feet long, and it grabbed a kid and snatched him and tried to pull him into a tree. And really, nobody cares about that. The city of Crosswick isn't even there anymore. It's in a town called Waynesville. So I went to Waynesville and I took a picture by the sign. And then we were driving home, and there was a truck driving in front of us, and I'm fairly certain it was shooting out of the fucking truck, like shooting a gun out of the truck. And it was really scary. And we had to hang back, and I don't know what's happening. And then it eventually got off the highway, but I swear it was shooting out of its truck. So Ohio was a little bit wild.
A little bit.
Oh, because listen, we were like, is that backfiring or is that a gun? And I'm like, I think I've only seen a car backfire on like a cartoon and not in real life and not on a highway. So
Right.
that has to be a gun. It was not a good noise and it kept happening. I'm like, this is not good.
Right. The only form of backfiring you have is like a 1940s Mickey Mouse jalopy backfiring.
Right. This looked like yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like that. This was like probably a 2000 or 90s white little truck with stickers all over it. And I'm fairly certain it was shooting at people.
I was driving down 94 once. This is 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And a semi next to me, one of its tires blew, and the pressure from the tire blowing moved my car because I was right next to the semi when it blew. It pushed my car almost into the divider of the road, like the pressure of that tire.
Did you see that video on Twitter of that car that flips over?
Very insane.
Bro, new fear unlocked. I think the people are okay though.
I hope so.
I know. All right, so you were supposed to come with us on the trip. We bought 3 tickets to the HorrorCon. We got a hotel room with 3 beds and 2 bathrooms. Who knew that they even made those?
I didn't know that.
Ditched us.
Well, you guys ditched me.
What are you talking about?
I mean, this is a standing thing that I've done for 11 years.
Listen, when we planned the trip, you were in. And then you said, oopsie, I know it's already planned, but I just realized that the Nain Rouge Parade is on the Sunday, so I can't go. Who did you think was going to pay for all that?
We get refunds and stuff.
From who?
I don't know. Work it out. Anyway, so yes, I went and protested the Nain Rouge again for the 11th year.
I know, and the pictures are really cute.
Yes. Amber showed up and helped and held signs, and this family showed up. They heard about the Nain Rouge, and they heard me talking about it on the Astonishing Legends podcast, and so they came and took signs, and some people from Gus's showed up, brought and took signs, and I saw some people from Our Magazine that I used to know.
I saw you saw Ray and Gracie.
I saw Ray and Gracie. They yelled at me and booed in my face. And it was funny because when you were talking about the Loveland Frogman, you were like, no one knows what the Loveland Frogman is. No one in the parade for the Nain Rouge knows what the Nain Rouge is.
I feel like since you've been doing this, it only gets worse.
It gets worse. This was the worst year. The woman leading the parade was walking down the street, calling out to people who were standing watching the parade, and she was saying out loud, said, I don't know why we're here. I don't know what we're doing. Like that, she said that the entire way that she marched down the parade.
Nice battle cry.
Crazy. Crazy. And then it ended, this year ended, it always ends with like, they try and find something to like end it with.
Mm-hmm.
And so this ended with like a burlesque show. And then someone dressed up in a Red Devil suit came out and did the Wednesday dance.
Oh.
And that was the big ending. I was just like, I don't know what is going on. Every year it's like they're scraping for something to do during this March.
Yeah.
Where if they just conceded the idea to me It would be much more fun.
Yeah, it would be fun if it was like more of a cryptid celebration parade.
Yes, that's exactly what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's yelling and screaming and people like being mad.
And then everybody dresses up like a devil, which is like barely the thing. It looks like a Hell Michigan celebration, but that's not what it is.
Those are the people that know what it is. Most people, honestly, for those of you who aren't from Michigan, we have this thing called Theater Bazaar that happens near Halloween. And it's just people wearing their Theater Bazaar costumes. Like there's a guy there with a jack-o'-lantern scary mask on and a guy dressed up like a vampire. And then there's two ladies dressed up like Mardi Gras. And then there's a guy who's dressed up like a pirate. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the weird vehicles that they make. They don't have anything to do with anything, but they look cool.
Oh, they had no weird vehicles this year, but they did have, for some reason, third in the parade were 3 empty flatbed rider rental trucks driving next to each other.
Why?
No idea. Like the lady screaming about not knowing what it was. Then there was a float, quote unquote, with like some people standing on a platform, like listening to a boombox. And then there were 3 rider trucks. And then there was just the group of people following that.
Very strange.
Very strange.
And every year you say you don't know if it's going to happen next year. Do you think it's going to happen next year or no?
It'll probably happen next year.
Yeah.
Here's a little top secret. Inspired me because I saw so many little kids there that didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm 12 pages into a Nain Rouge coloring book for kids.
Cute.
It's a Nain Rouge and Friends puzzle, coloring, and fun book.
Oh my God, cute.
Yeah.
Take them shits down there.
It's got word searches. I know. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be passed out to all the kids I see.
Cute.
Yep.
Good job. Are you going to talk about your other secret or?
Nah.
You're not?
No.
Okay, that's just for me to know.
Yep.
Also, it was.
You never know. It might pop up like a couple weeks from now. Like if I talk about it, I'm just not ready to talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. I would love it if it popped up in a few weeks. But it was my birthday last week, and I didn't put it online because I never do, because I don't like having attention on my birthday. I like to just literally do nothing. I like to be left alone. I have a lot of shit to attend to on my phone every day, and do I want it tripled? No, I do not. I would rather just sit there and do nothing. So I didn't say anything, but this weekend was my birthday trip, and it was very lovely. Everything went great.
You're finally legal to drink.
I know, cute. But I wanted to say a couple of thank yous because some people sent me nice stuff. Some people that knew it was my B-Day. Lindsay Lapin, dirtymouse.etsy.com sent us a big box of like body stuff, soaps, dog shampoo, dog pad, balm stuff, really nice stuff. Olive Garden sent us another package. And Mia from Two Spooky Hoes, she sent me, it's a padded envelope, and in the return address says the best present ever. That's what it says. So I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going to be in here? So I open it. It's a fucking real potato in the envelope, and it's the company is called Potato Parcel, and stamped on the potato it said, "Happy birthday, you degenerate potato." That was like the best present. They were all the best present, but thank you for people who sent stuff. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah, I didn't get you anything.
That's fine. You give me random shit all the time. You have shit for me right now. I know you do.
No, I do. Oh, I gave you that Elgato Gomez painting.
I know.
Just think that's your birthday present.
I know. And you say you got me those papers or those booklets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm your friend, which is the greatest gift of all.
True. I have a bag of stuff for you too.
You're a bag of stuff.
I know I'm a bag of stuff. I think that's it. We got to go do a paranormal event this weekend in Toledo.
Yep.
I already know there's some people, listeners / Patreons, who are going to be there. And also, listen, you guys, listen. We have a Patreon that supports our podcast. It's patreon.com/whatsupweirdo. We give out exclusive videos in there where that's how people are coming to Renfield with us on Wednesday. So you could get like exclusive hangouts with us, movie passes, videos. I put a whole trip vid of everything that I just talked about the Cincinnati trip. You did for our 2 highest tiers a behind the scenes tour of your office with all your cool shit.
I did a toy tour.
We did a toy tour, and then I feel like earlier this month we did another video. Like there's a ton of fun stuff in the Patreon if you want to join. It helps out the podcast. Yeah.
It keeps me in potatoes and rice.
Yeah, it keeps Jenny eating potatoes and rice. Listen, did you see that cartoon I sent you earlier?
Yeah, about the stale cracker.
Yeah.
You're making fun of my eating habits now.
Listen, I haven't had food in my house for 2 weeks. I keep telling myself I'm going to order groceries, and I keep not doing it.
You know what I had to eat today?
What?
I walked down to the bakery this afternoon, and today I have eaten 3 blueberry muffins.
That's cute. Nutritious? Maybe not. Cute? Yes.
I mean, they're fresh made at the bakery, so they're not,
There's a blueberry in there somewhere.
Yeah, a bloob.
A bloob, but that's a fruits.
That's a fruits.
Fruits.
And I usually have like a strawberry and banana smoothie.
Yeah.
That's foods.
I didn't eat anything healthy. Well, no, I ate a granola bar earlier, and then my dinner wasn't healthy at all.
This is a couple weeks ago, I realized that I had Rice Krispies, and I kind of love Rice Krispies, but they were stale, and I didn't have any oat milk. I'm just saying, I might have eaten a couple bowls of stale Rice Krispies in water.
Bro, that is... That is really depressing.
So if you want me to have fresh Rice Krispies, join our Patreon.
Oh my God. Get the man a box of fucking unstale cereal, please. Christ.
I will throw an extra thanks out to Amber for coming to Nain Rouge and driving me back to Royal Oak afterwards and hanging out. We went to Gus's afterward, and we saw there were all sorts of friends at Gus's.
Yeah, there's always all sorts of friends at Gus's.
Yep.
Even though I haven't been there in forever.
You have not.
I have not.
I think that's it.
Yeah. And when we talked on the phone before, we realized that we missed each other this weekend.
Well, yeah, you realized you missed me.
You missed me too!
All right, get out of here.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, I watched the new episode of Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that too, and I forgot.
Sorry.
Dude, the new episode is so good.
It's so good. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Next week, we'll have 2 more episodes. We'll have another episode to talk about.
If you guys haven't watched it yet, watch Yellow Jackets on Showtime. It's the best show on TV right now.
It's good.
It's good. I started the Waco doc. There's a new Waco doc on Netflix, and it's fucking boring.
Is it the Michael Shannon one?
No. It's like a doc with survivors talking, and one looks just like Robert Duvall. Side note. Also, the new season of Love is Blind dropped, and the first 5 episodes are out, and I binged them, and it's unhinged. It's like worse than any season so far.
Just save it. We're done.
Okay.
I'm done talking to you.
Fine. My face is hot. I'm getting too worked up.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, friend.
Okay, friend.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.